welcome back to the Girly Girl Bookworm. So today I have my September book haul for you. Now, I knew this one was going to be big, so I'm not super, distressed about it, but I'm like, this one's big. But I've already read 4 of these books, so I feel super grateful for that. So I'm going to start off with 2 books that I technically won in a giveaway. Speaking of books, was doing a giveaway because she was moving, and she was picking a bunch of people to, take books off of her shelf, which was, really great. So I was able to choose 2. So the first one I grabbed from her was How to Find a Princess by Alyssa Cole. This is technically the spin-off series to the Reluctant Royal series, which I devoured back in February and really loved. So I'm really hoping that I will love this one too. This is technically, like I said, the sequel, so I do have to buy book 1. But I'm really excited to read them because, like I said, I devoured that series in February because I loved it so much. So I'm hoping that I will love this series just as much. And the other book that I got from her was Alex 6 by Vince Kaplan. And I have already read this book. I read this book December of last year, I believe. But I read it as a Kindle Unlimited book, and I've always wanted to buy it, but I'm always that type of person where, if I've read it already, I have a really hard time spending money on it. But I really wanted this one for my collection because I love this thriller so much. This is about a man who is married, and then he kind of gets wrapped up with this woman where she kind of wants to make a deal with him, I really want a child, I will give you a whole ton of money for your sperm so I can have children, but, you can't tell anybody and all this stuff, and I'm going to give you all this money, and it just, spirals out of control, and it was so good. So I'm, really glad to have this one on my shelf because, like I said, I've been wanting it for a year, so I'm glad that it's finally here. Then I got 4 books from Book of the Month. I got 3 books as my regular 3 options. And then I'm technically part of a, Book of the Month book club. And they normally, lately I haven't been liking The Choice, or I already have The Choice. So this month I really liked The Choice, and I didn't have it, so I was able to grab it. It was actually kind of a funny story because it was originally in my box because I was like, there's no way she's choosing this one this month. I need to get this one. And then they did end up choosing it. So I was able to call Book of the Month, really, really fast. And they were able to take it out of my box and replace it with the other book that I really wanted. So I was really excited because this month was so hard to narrow down my choices because I really wanted, all of them. So the first book I ended up with was In Every Mirror She's Black. This is the one that I ended up, trading the other book for because I really wanted this one in my box and there was just no room for it. So when the book club chose the other one, I was like, maybe I could actually get this one. So I'm really glad I did because I've already read this one and I loved this one. We are following 3 women who are kind of interconnected but very slightly. And they are all Black women and dealing with Sweden, which is really interesting. So we're following one woman who is originally from Africa, but she's been living in America. And this guy basically, from Sweden, he has this, really powerful company. And he kind of, recruits her into his business. So she's deciding to go to Sweden to work for him. Then there's a flight attendant who the same guy has an interaction with, and they kind of end up starting a relationship. And then the other woman, she's a refugee, and he kind of, I think, was donating to a center that she was at. So they are all slightly interconnected, and it was such a great story that if you were thinking about putting this in your box and you didn't, I would highly recommend it if that sounded good to you. My other choice for the month was The Sweetest Remedy by Jane Igharo. I was so excited to see this one because I really liked Ties That Tether, and Ties That Tether was so good that, like I said, when I saw this one, I instantly had to grab it. I thought they were originally a series, but they're not. They actually completely stand by themselves. And this is about a girl who I believe finds out that her father, who lives in Nigeria, dies, and she has to go to the funeral, but, she's never met her father or that side of the family, and I think that there's also a relationship that obviously sparks. So I'm excited to see what this one is like. It's on my October TBR, so hopefully I'll get to it soon. Then I also grabbed The Neighbor's Secret by L. Allison Heller, and I believe this is something where, these women are part of a book club, and then things start going completely wrong. And it says, how well do you really know your neighbors? Yeah, late night acts of vandalism target the women of the book club. And secrets begin being revealed. So I'm excited for that one. And then the one that was my book club choice was Rock, Paper, Scissors by Rock, Paper, Scissors. That makes absolutely no sense. Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. I almost pre-ordered this one, and then I didn't because when I start showing you, I pre-ordered a lot this month. And so I decided not to. And then once it became an option on Book of the Month, I was like, yes! And then, like I said, my person who runs the book club typically picks historical fiction books. So I wasn't expecting her to pick this one, but she did. So that's why I was able to get the 4, because this is my book club option. But this follows a couple. I think they're kind of having a rough spot in their relationship. They went a trip to Switzerland, I think. No, Scotland. They went a weekend to Scotland. They go there for their anniversary. Secrets start coming out, and I can't wait. Originally, I was going to read it, like, immediately, but it's got snow on the cover, so I think I may actually save it for a snowy month. Then I've got my pre-orders, and let me say I had a ton. I also originally had Apples Never Fall pre-ordered, but then I didn't like the audiobook, so I canceled it, and I picked up a different one. And then I also originally had TJ Klune's new book, Under the Whispering Door, pre-ordered, but I really loved the audiobook for The House in the Cerulean Sea. So I feel like in my head, I really want to listen to that one as well. So part of me was just like, I'd rather go find it where I can listen to it and then decide if I really need it for my collection, because I do want to consume it in a listening way. So I decided not to spend money on it quite yet. But the ones I did get was The Hawthorne Legacy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the second book to the Inheritance series. I've already read this one. We are picking up right where the first one left off. The first one, we're following a girl. She's kind of really down on her luck. Her mother just died. Her dad's not in her life. She's living with her sister. And one day she finds out that she has just inherited this man who she doesn't even know, like, his entire estate. And there's games involved. It's very much like Knives Out. And this is the sequel. So I don't want to say too much more than that because I don't want to spoil anything. Then I also got Greek by Katie Steiner. This is the 7th and final book in the Palm South University series. It was really sad to see this series go. I've already read and finished this one, obviously. This didn't last very long on my shelf unread, but great conclusion. Very sad to see the series go. You're following a bunch of people who go to college at Palm South University in Florida. Greek life, fun, drama, love, you name it. It's in this series. I love this series so much. Sad to see it over. Then I pre-ordered We Are Not Broken by George M. Johnson. This is the same author who wrote All Boys Aren't Blue. They are both memoirs. I'm not sure where this one necessarily takes place. It says, we were just 4 black boys and their grandmother making forever memories. As the daylight became moonlight, glowing on our skin, as radiant as the black boy joy that lived within. So I have a feeling it's probably more about his child life versus the other one, which really focused on like his teenage to college year life. So I'm assuming this is following them as young children. So I'm excited to see what this one is like. I've heard amazing things. And like I said, All Boys Aren't Blue is probably one of my favorite books that I've read this year so far. I ended up pre-ordering White Smoke by Tiffany D. Jackson. This is the one that I switched Apples Never Fall for, because I originally didn't pre-order this one and I wanted to. And then so when I decided to cancel that one, I swapped it with this one, because I have been obsessed with Tiffany D. Jackson this year, but I was really scared of this one because I heard this one is actually scary. And I was like, I don't know if I could do it, but I'm going to do it. I think this has like a haunted house in it. I really don't know anything else about it, but I've been hearing phenomenal things, and my plan is to get to it in October. Then I had to pre-order As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. This is the 3rd and final book in the Girl's Guide to Murder series. I know nothing about it. I know like the second one was like loosely connected to the first one, but followed another mystery. So I'm assuming this one will as well. So I'm just excited to get to this one kind of ASAP. I did, for which is weird because I didn't do it with the first two, but I did put a hold on the library for the audiobook for this one, so I will be waiting for the audiobook to read this one, but I'm really excited. Really excited. Then I also pre-ordered The Wish by Nicholas Sparks. I don't know what it's about. I read all of his books. I've read all of his books, so I'm hoping this one will be just as good. And then I randomly went into Target and bought 3 books. For no reason. I walked out, my husband was like, was it a buy 2 get 1 free sale? And I went, no. I had no willpower. I have no idea what it was. I picked them up, I put them in my arms, and I just walked away. No excuses. So the first one I grabbed was the Turnout by Megan Abbott, and this one is a ballet story, which if you know my buzzwords, ballet is one of them. And that's all I know. I don't know anything else. It says it was always the 3 of them, until it wasn't, and that was when everything went wrong, starting with the fire or before. I have read one other book by her. I'm going to say Dare Me. It was the one with like the lips on the cover, I think. And I wasn't a huge fan of it, but I'm hoping that because she's written so much more since then, I will like this one. Because that was also a buzzword. That one had cheerleaders in it, and I also really like books with cheerleaders in it, so I'm hoping that this one will be good. I've heard really good things about it. I think my issue with the other one was it wasn't as like thrillery as I was expecting, so hopefully this one will be exactly what I want. And then I grabbed, I don't know why, The Sanatorium by Sarah Pierce. I have heard really bad things about this one, so I don't know why I picked this one up. I think because Kendra started it as an audiobook, and for some reason it just like re-sparked my interest in it. I haven't been able to find a way to get it through the library unless I like went and probably physically picked it up. But this also has a wedding in it, which is also a buzzword. So I just was like, you know what? I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to try it. I'm going to go in with low expectations, and maybe that'll just help it to like surprise me. So hopefully I will like it. I believe it's a sanatorium turned hotel, and there's a wedding that's happening there, and crazy things happen. And then the last book that I have this month is The Rehearsals by Annette Christie. I've already read this one as well, and this is about a couple. They are at their rehearsal dinner, and something goes on where all of a sudden they are now stuck in this loop where they just keep reliving their rehearsal dinner day after day after day, so kind of like a Groundhog's Day retelling, and they are trying to figure out their way out of this, and I will just say that I really enjoyed this one, so keep your eyes out for my thoughts on that one. So yeah, a lot of books this month, but I've also read a ton, and I could see a ton coming off my shelf very quickly, so it was a good month. Did you buy anything good? Let me know down below, and I will see you guys really soon. Bye, everybody.